So, for many people that are approaching retirement, and I think over a long period of time, we have goals set. And one of those goals might be a specific age, meaning if I get to this age, do I have enough money to retire? So, let's pick an age. If you're 60 years old, do you have enough money to retire? We'll go through that. Give me just a minute. So 60, I mean, it's a nice number, age 60. Round number, technically, it's kind of like early retirement. I'm not quite 65, good age. Hopefully by that time for a lot of people, kids are grown, maybe through college, some of those expenses are going down. You're starting to take a look at your portfolio, money you've got set aside for retirement. Things like 401ks, 403bs, maybe other investment options that you have, government retirement, things like TSP, state retirement. I mean, it's a little bit different for everyone. Looking at some of those pension numbers, if you have a pension, when's the best time to start the pension? All of those things are different for everybody. But if we got a goal set to retire at a specific age, we're going to have questions. Is it feasible? Can I make it work? What would happen if? And so if we start with the age of 60 and we sit down and have a conversation, we're going to talk about how much money have you set aside for retirement? What are your goals in retirement? Goals are different for everybody, but it's going to boil down to expenses. So essentially, what are your expenses in retirement? Now, that's an interesting number. Not everybody has a budget. Not everybody has it all written out. It's very common for people to have a lifestyle that's based on their income from employment, meaning if you're working, you know where your health insurance comes from, you know how much money is deposited into your bank account on a biweekly or a monthly basis. For most people, taxes are withheld, so you're not real worried about taxes at the end of the year because you figure, well, I'll get this W-2 and it'll show how much I was paid and how much was withheld. All of these things are what people are accustomed to while they're working. But if I'm going to retire at age 60, we need to dive into that a little bit. We'll say, all right, well, how much money would it take on a monthly or an annual basis for you to maintain your current standard of living, not just now, but throughout retirement? So if I'm 60, I'm thinking, probably got 30 to 40 years in retirement if I'm healthy. It would not be uncommon these days to live well into your 90s. So let's just say 95. Retire at 60, going to be retired or unemployed, if you want to look at it that way, for the next 35 years. I'm going to have expenses. I'm going to have inflation. I'm going to have taxes. All of this goes into it. How do I map that out for myself? And so that's where financial planning comes in. So the goal, or the solution, I should say, to retiring at 60 would be understanding everything that is likely to happen moving forward. But when it comes to returns and markets and expenses and all of that, also taxes, there's planning there. But then also understanding what markets are potentially likely to do, and then also understanding what all of your investment options are. So that's a key component. So what I would do in this situation is we would say, all right, you're retiring at 60. You're not going to get Medicare until 65. So there's a health insurance gap that we have to bridge there. That's very, very important. If you don't have a way to continue that through your employment or through a spouse's employment, then we have to satisfy that need until 65. We have to take a look at all of the expenses. So let's dive into that, not just in general, but let's look at details. Often those details are things like the utility bills and house payments or car payments, if you have them, taxes, insurance. I mean, people think of that right up front, but we have to think bigger than that. It can't just be the day-to-day what it takes to sit at home and not go anywhere and just be able to feed myself and have utilities. We have to think about what retirement should be fun. So your budget should include let's just call it a vacation budget or a fun budget. So we have to work that in too. So if somebody comes to me and I have all of that data, I can see what their expenses are, but true expenses, not just necessities, all of the expenses, and we can look at that. And I can take a look at inflation and taxes, take a look at sources of income in retirement. Those sources for most people are going to be at least Social Security, but there could be some additional income, maybe from real estate or other investments or maybe pensions. Take a look at that. Look at the way that your money is currently invested. and what return that you could expect moving forward. Compare that to all of the investments that are available to you, their returns, the amount of risk. If there's a way to increase your returns, net of any expenses that you have in that return, but also reduce the amount of risk that you're taking to get that return, that will help you along the way. And then put all of this together into a financial plan that says, all right, if you retire at 60, and these are your true expenses, and these are your investments, and this is your income, and we adjust it for inflation and taxes moving forward, and we settle at, okay, this is the long-term outcome, and you're comfortable with it, then congratulations. You can retire at 60 comfortably, but you can't do it without all of the information and all of the data. And you can't do it unless somebody is willing to be a true fiduciary, sit down with you, and help you make informed decisions. Thank you for watching. Go to guardingyournestegg.com for your free and objective personal financial plan.